Welcome to New Business Practicum's third Friday series down here at Fresno State OCED office. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about copyrights. Copyrights are really important aspects of the law that a number of entrepreneurs don't know about, but after today's workshop, I think you'll have a pretty good sense of what to do. Not to get what we call chopped by copyright. That just means that entrepreneurs need to be careful when they're using other people's copyrighted work, or maybe a logo that was produced for them by somebody else. And of course, lots of different business models incorporate copyrighted material in them. So today we will help you get a sense of how to plan for this in the future and to not get chopped by copyright. So are you ready to go? Ready? Okay, ready. Thank you very much. Ready?
Hello, I am your host for tonight, Kevin Xu, and welcome to Chopped
by Copyright! Right.
A show that blends the best of the popular shows Shark Tank and Chopped to show you entrepreneurs what you need to learn about copyright law. Now, here's how we play. We'll have our 3 contestants, all serial entrepreneurs, all eager to start their new businesses, and we are going to give them just 3 minutes to find out and develop a new business model that incorporates the 3 components that will be randomly chosen from our topics baskets. And so as the contestants work and develop these copyright or these business models that use these components, we will see what exciting ideas they have. These components, they can be anything. They could be travel, clothing, llamas. Judges, you remember last week, the llama startup.
So
oh my goodness. Well, the owners could choose different color wool sweaters. Amazing. Oh, yes. And our winner will receive $100,000. So, as you know, every new business has legal issues that they need to overcome. Copyright law is particularly tricky. This show, the idea is to highlight these copyright law issues that entrepreneurs need to know in order to avoid getting
chopped by copyright.
And who better to teach us about these copyright issues but our
celebrity judges? All right.
Of course, the Honorable Justice Stephen Breyer.
Yay!
The notorious
Ruth Bader birthday.
It also happens to be her birthday today.
Oh,
all right, judges. Now, your job is to hear these amazing business ideas that our entrepreneurs develop, and then weigh in how they anticipate and handle the copyright issues involved. If you see a promising business idea that might have left some loose ends when it comes to treating the copyrighted materials involved, your job is to chop them down.
Yes.
Only one will emerge as the winner. So, judges, are you ready to hear some business models?
Yes.
All right. Now, as our contestants, let's go down the line. Introduce yourselves. Maybe say just a bit about your experience as entrepreneurs.
Hey guys, my name's Elsie. Back in the day when I was studying at Harvard, I met this guy named Mark. I told him a couple of ideas I was having, and he really liked them and wanted to start a business with me. But turns out he was really hard to work with, and I just super stubborn and couldn't get anywhere with him. And he just decided to keep all my ideas and just left and ran off with it, and I still like talking about it now.
Sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Gabriela. So fortunately, I just sold my past venture for $3 million. So now I want to have a vacation and I want to have fun sharing my ideas with people.
All right, very good.
Hi, I'm Daniela, back in Mexico. I started my new business and now with my best friend, and now he's handling it. I'm just receiving profits and I'm here having fun.
All right. So now we will find out what random components you each will be using to develop your businesses.
Okay. Yes.
Randomly chosen components. Just pick up one of these cards and we will see what's on the other side.
What is
What do we have here first? The suspense is killing me.
Internet. Oh, goodness. Oh,
All right.
yes.
Yes. We have next here.
We have food.
Food. Oh, yes, we got this here. And then the last ingredient.
The suspense.
Dogs.
Dogs. Oh yes. We have
All right.
Oh my
Food,
goodness.
the internet, and dogs. Okay, contestants, are you ready to develop your business model with food, the internet, and dogs?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, your 3-minute timer starts now. Go.
Dun, 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds. Oh, it's getting close. It's getting close. 30 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Time's up. Ding, 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 ding.
Hands down, entrepreneurs. You worked so hard. Okay, let's start with you, Gabriella. How did you make a business model out of food, the internet, and dogs?
Okay, so have you ever been to a restaurant and you're with your friend Fido and you get turned out the door like, sorry, but no dogs allowed? You're like, well, my restaurant, Doggy and Me Diner, is a place for you because it caters to both dogs and their people. My slogan will be yum yums for all. The restaurant will have a special doggy menu and it will serve the finest organic food for humans and for your dogs. Waiters will bring the food on segways that are decorated into like famous dogs, maybe Pluto, maybe Goofy. So to entertain the customers, the restaurant will also play DVDs of popular dog movies like, Air Bud and Marley and Me. So yeah, I'll copyright the name Doggy and Me Diner. So, and also my slogan, so then we can open franchises all over the United States.
Interesting.
Oh, Gabriela. I think this is a very multi-layered thing we have to dissect here. So first of all, just start with your slogan, Yum Yum Squirrel. You unfortunately cannot copyright that, but you can try to seek trademark protection for a slogan or logo and such.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of the dog-themed segways you came up with. But I'm a little worried that your business is going to receive a few cease and desist letters from Disney, because Goofy and Pluto are copyrighted cartoon characters by Disney, and you need permission from Disney to use them, to recreate them, even if you just want to put them on a Segway.
But isn't it like if I use that, can I claim that with like some sort of fair use or something?
Right. Well, the courts will weigh about 4 factors to determine whether something is fair use or not. And one of those factors is the purpose of the use and whether it is used for commercial purposes. And since you're using Goofy and Pluto here for commercial purposes, the court is most likely not going to find that your use is a fair use. So instead of copyrighted characters like Goofy and Pluto, maybe you can come up with your own designs and then you can seek copyright protection for those.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a very good idea.
License them out to those franchises. Okay. And so what about those dog movies? Where are you going to get those movies?
Oh, don't worry about that. That will come from my personal collection. I have thousands of dog movies.
No, I can see more cease and desist letters coming up for your business. You have to be really careful about that. Those DVDs you have, they are on home use license. That means you can watch them at home with your family, with your friends, with your dog. But if you want to show them in public and in your business, you need that is considered a public performance, and you need to buy a special license to be allowed to show the DVD in public in your business. You have to be careful about that.
Oh no, but that sounds super expensive. So I'll play some dog themed music instead.
Same problem. If you plan to play music in your restaurant, you need to get a public performance license, and you need to buy that from one of the major performance rights organizations like EMI or ASCAP. Otherwise, you could be held liable for copyright.
Well, maybe I should just turn on the radio.
Yeah, well, if the restaurant is less than 3,750 square feet, then that's totally fine. Then you don't need to pay for to play the radio. Otherwise, you have to limit the number of speakers in the restaurant, and then you will be fine. Other than that, I think that sounds like a really interesting business idea, an interesting business plan. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Gabriella. Now let's hear from Daniela.
Okay, my business idea is to create the website for funny and cute dog pictures called Behind Them. Each week, we will give prizes for the cutest, ugliest, and funniest of the dogs pictures posted. Also, to promote the website, we will be having a bunch of photographers like going in skateboards that will be dispatched on different areas of the country. So this will incite the dog owners to watch if their dog has been photographed, and they will go into the website. I plan to support the website through subscription fees by selling advertisement to pet food companies.
Oh, you can sign me up first, you know? I wore my dissenting opinion necklace, but I can't dissent with that. So the only question I have right now is, who will own the copyright to the photos that the users post?
Well, I mean, assuming that the user is a photographer, the user will own the copyright to those pictures that they take and they post. My website will have a bunch of terms of use that will require the user to give the company a royalty-free, limited license to use the IP content for that user pictures. So the user will just have to click a box of accepting the terms before entering the website.
Okay, I like that click wrap agreement. But what if someone posts a picture that is copyrighted already by someone else, like Dr. Parker, for example? What would you do with that?
Well, I don't know. I just take it down if someone complains, I guess, immediately.
Yeah, because under copyright law, you could be held liable for hosting the photographs that infringe someone else's copyright, even though they were posted by a user. So hosting is also an issue here. However, under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, you can be immune from liability if you under the safe harbor provision that's provided in that act. So you just have to comply with the rules on the takedown requirements of copyrighted photographs.
Oh my God, how do I do that?
So the first step is you need to designate an agent who receives notifications of any claimed infringing content that is posted on your website. By the way, the Copyright Office has converted to a complete electronic designated agent directory system by the end of 2017. So if you have previously filed a hard copy agent, designated agent, you will need to refile an electronic notice one by December 31st, 2017, so by today as well.
And Daniela, how about the photos that the photographers take on the street? Who has the copyright for that?
Oh, I don't need licenses for those, do I?
Well, if you just take a photo of a dog, that's okay, because dogs and animals just don't have a right to publicity yet. But if you take a photo of the dog and its owner, you may run into some problems.
I mean, if the owners are in public, don't I have the right to photograph them?
Well, you can take pictures, selfies, get in the background, and of them, so long as you're not using it for commercial purposes. So once you're putting it on your website, you're going to be making money off of, you will need to get a model release from that person.
Speaking of your photographers on the skateboard, that's an interesting idea, but will they be your employees or will they be independent contractors?
Oh, I don't know. I'll figure out later that issue.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to work it out now because that will determine who owns the copyright those photographers actually take. Because if the photographers are your employees, you will own the copyright under the work for hire doctrine. But if the photographers are independent contractors, they need to get an assignment or a license from them to use the photographs for your use.
Well, I guess that when I hire them, I will tell them to assign the rights.
Well, oral assignments aren't really valid when it comes to copyright. Copyright assignments need to be done in writing and signed by the copyright holder to be valid. So oral licenses are enforceable if they are not exclusive, but then other people may be able to use those cute and funny photographs.
All right, thank you, Daniela. That sounds very promising. Now let's hear from Elsie.
All right, so think about all those long car trips that you take with your dog. Imagine now that you have an app where it would help you plan your route. It will show you all the rest stops with the doggy parks and rest areas, all the restaurants that your dogs are allowed to go into, and all the pet stores. But wait, that's not all. Imagine that the app also will train your dog how to play card games like I Spy. The app will have a special training curriculum and also irresistible dog treats that will maximize their brain power. This special training curriculum I plan to develop with my sister, who is a Google program software developer right now. And also, after I develop this curriculum and these special doggy treats, I plan to secure the copyrights to them by mailing them to myself. I call this Go Dog Go.
Okay, well, I'll see another great idea, of course, because we have women entrepreneurs, lots of us. So first, you should know that copyright law does not protect your recipes, so those doggy treat recipes are not going to be protected under that. But you can use trade secret law to protect that. You're just going to have to take reasonable steps to actually protect your secret recipe. So once you get workers working with you, you just have them sign like non-disclosure agreements, mark those recipes confidential, don't post them publicly, and you can be okay.
And also be aware that the only way to register your copyright is with the US Copyright Office. So it's an old myth that you can just secure your copyright and register by just mailing it to yourself. But you should know that you don't have to register your copyright with the US Copyright Office. You have a valid copyright once you create and fix the curriculum in some tangible way by writing it down. However, if you want to sue someone for copyright infringement, then you will need to officially register it. But that's really easy to file a copyright registration.
Okay, can I copyright the app?
Well, you can copyright your app, but you can't copyright any of the open source code you might have used to create it. And also, that copyright won't protect the app's algorithm, any formatting functions, or system design. And it won't stop a competitor from reverse engineering or independently creating their own version of this kind of app.
By the way, have you and your sister talked about who will own the copyright of the app?
Ooh, not yet.
Because when two or more people create a work, they are considered to be joint authors of the work. And unless you have an agreement, you will have equal co-ownership of the copyrights.
And did you say that your sister works at Google as a computer programmer?
Yeah, she's really talented.
Well, is the app related to any of the work she's doing at Google?
Ugh, I have no idea.
Okay, so you'll need to check, because if it's related to the work that she's doing at Google, Google may be able to claim that the app is actually their copyright. So.
And also, Go.Go is actually a trademark name for the Swiss book. It's not copyright, but you probably need a license to use it. Just be aware of that.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, looks like
great.
out of time. But some really promising business models out here. Judges, why don't you take a few seconds to confer and deliberate here, and we will figure out who gets chopped.
Chopped by copyright. Oh, goodness. Here we go. Good. On the edge of our seats.
All right, judges, do we have a decision here? Please, goodness. All right.
Here we go. Okay, so well, it was a hard choice, and I think you all have big futures ahead of you. But the winner is.
All right.
So Gabriella's Doggy and Meat Diner with $100,000.
All right.
Congratulations. We recommend using some of that to hire a lawyer. So that's all the time we have here today, folks. Many thanks to our contestants and our celebrity judges. And until next week, you entrepreneurs, watch out. Don't get
Chopped by copyright. Okay, great. Well, everybody, thank you. So, Dr. Rick Bader Ginsburg, could you give us some copyright takeaways from this today, if you would? You could come out from behind the table.
Well, copyright doesn't protect ideas or facts. It protects something once it's in a tangible form. So if I start writing something here on the board, I can have a copyright automatically for that. But if somebody else starts copying me and taking pictures of it, putting it on their Instagram, and I want to sue that person, I'll have to go to the copyright office and file that copyright, get that protection, and then I can sue. So I can wait until someone's copying me, but if I know that, and which I know already, that everything I do is going to be amazing and people are going to want to copy, I could file that copyright, and later when I sue that person who's copying me, I'll get more money in the fees from the court, my winnings, right? Let's see. Another big thing for social media, a lot of people like to repost someone else's words, blog posts, or pictures, and just give credit by saying credit to, and then they put the screen name or the company that created this work. And actually that is great, but doesn't protect you because you're still infringing on someone's copyright. Giving credit in that form doesn't matter. So doing that is still bad law. Also, selling products online using someone else's photography is infringing their copyright. So if you're going to use any copyright material in your business, make sure that you own the copyright. So if you go to any Creative Commons websites and people are posting photos that you can use on your own business page, be sure that you actually can use it on a business page for commercial purposes. Sometimes these licenses that you get online will change, and today it can say that you can use it for any and all use, and make your own productions or reproductions of it. And then tomorrow it can say that you can only use it as is, and you have to give credit to the photographer. So we want to keep abreast of those things, and it's just better to take your own photographs. And if you have other questions about copyright and about animals not having the right to publicity, you can keep up with that on our Instagram page, where we posted about that and about the licenses you need for playing music and playing sports shows, any games or matches on your TV when you're a business in the public area. We posted that at New Business Practicum on Instagram, and you can find it through our Facebook as well.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you to the contestants and to our very judges. We'll be here again the third Friday in April. Thank you very much. But in the meantime, do sign up for our office hours every Monday, Wednesday afternoon, 1 to 5 p.m. You can sign up through that website right there, and we look forward to serving you in the future.